Hello, I'm Bootsy from the GameJar.com. Today I'm talking to Quinn Duffy from Relic. He's talking about Company of Heroes 2, which he has here at Eurogamer. So, it's been a long time coming. How do you think the genre's evolved over the last 10 years or so?
Well, that's a big question. I think in some ways the real evolution has happened in just the last couple of years. I think you see sort of strategy moving into, sort of a different forms, the sort of Dota games or League of Legends, those kinds of games. So those feel like strategy games, and they've opened up the genre and the kind of the gameplay to a pretty broad audience. And I think that's kind of exciting for developers like us, working in a sort of a traditional RTS environment. I mean, we love to innovate in our games. The Relic games, in Homeworld we introduced, full sort of 3D, and we had mixing and matching armies in impossible creatures, and lots of tactical innovation in Company Heroes, and it's something we're trying to continue in Company Heroes 2. Provide an amazing strategy experience that's beautifully presented with some really new and interesting, innovative gameplay.
Okay, so here on the show floor you've got a 30 or so minute demo. What exactly have you tried to show off with that?
Well, one of the things I think is to get across the sort of the core experience of the game. The tactical gameplay became a strong focus for us. It was something that we thought the fans really enjoyed, and something as developers we thought was kind of core to the Company of Heroes experience. So the demo introduces, a winter environment. It introduces the Eastern Front and the tone and the sort of the brutality of that part of World War II and that conflict, and introduces the Soviet Army and some of the units that are available in a very sort of palatable kind of bite-sized chunk. We've got 15 minutes that people can play and get engrossed in the game, and so we're giving them, I think, a really interesting and compelling experience.
So it's quite late in the year. Why Eurogamer for showing off this game as opposed to Gamescom or any other bigger event?
Well, it just seemed like this was the right time to introduce the game, to sort of the consumer. This is our first opportunity for a consumer hands-on, and in the past we've been showing the game to press, and we've got a couple of demos that we've been showing to the press. But this is an opportunity for our fans and some of our long-term fans. We've got people here from literally all over the world who have come to see the game. They're that passionate about the franchise, and they're excited. They're a little nervous. We want to make sure that we're taking care of their game. It's sort of a deep passion that they have. So this just felt like the right time and the right opportunity and the right venue. The original Company Heroes was pretty groundbreaking, but it couldn't do everything that we wanted to do now with things like our weather. The weather effects and how weather actually impacts gameplay. It slows your soldiers in the snow, the ice breaks and refreezes, and tanks can go to the bottom of rivers, and blizzards can cut down your line of sight and freeze your troops. So this weather isn't just a visual thing, it's a gameplay thing, and we could only do that in the new engine. We've got a new simulation layer, we've got a brand new audio engine, we're doing live recordings of weapons and those kinds of things, so the game sounds absolutely amazing. And so all of that stuff is possible with the development of the new engine.
And with this new engine, what kind of mod support are you looking to give your community?
Well, I think they'll expect a lot of what we gave them in the original. We've got a whole set of tools that we'd love to give to the community and allow them to extend the content in the game, and we'll be making some announcements about that kind of stuff in the future. But that sort of hardcore community, and people invest their hard-earned time, is really what gives these games their life. We still have record numbers of players playing the original Company of Heroes, and a large part of that is because of the passion of the community and their ability to create more content for Company Heroes.
Certainly, there was originally an Eastern Front mod for the first game. What aspects have you taken from that, and what aspects of the real World War II Eastern Front are you looking to invest in this game?
Well, I think the original Eastern Front mod, it's done by a great team, but it sort of illustrated that there was interest. And when we were doing the original Company of Heroes, one of our planned expansions was for the Eastern Front, but we realized that we couldn't do what we wanted to do in the engine. And so we had to wait until we got development on the Essence Engine 3 to really deliver the experience that we wanted to. And so from this sort of inspiration of the real war, we did a lot of research. We actually traveled to St. Petersburg in the middle of February and experienced a Russian winter sort of firsthand with 3 feet of snow, and went to some of the battle sites where they had fought in the winter of 41, 42, and 43, and just immersed ourselves in that experience and that culture, and that's incredibly inspiring as a game designer. The campaign, is sort of features a character who was a soldier in the Soviet Army, and he's injured and actually returns to the front as a combat journalist. And again, we were inspired by a lot of the reading we had done. Some of these Soviet journalists like Vasily Grossman and Ehrenberg, who'd followed the frontline soldiers, but had this incredible access, from the front lines and portraying the Soviet soldiers as the sort of heroes operating under incredible duress, up to the front commanders, the Zhukovs and the Chukovs, and so this character gives us the ability to really cross a huge breadth of the sort of the experience on the Eastern Front.
Do you think in the first game that your focus on a single character really gave you an advantage over games which portray more epic stories?
Well, the characters in the original were relatable. The challenge was, in the first game, we covered about 3 months of Normandy, and then, the expansions covered sort of an additional month into Holland. And so we're covering 4 months out of 6 years of the war. The problem on the Soviet side was finding somebody who'd survived the whole duration of the war, and that was really, really challenging. And so using this combat journalist gives us a character that allows us to span both, the breadth of the war and provide the player a lot of interesting insight into different levels of command.
So what feedback did you get for the first game? What did you hear most of that the players liked and disliked, and what you want to make changes for in the second game?
Well, I mean, we've had 6 years of feedback to draw from, and it kind of varies, year to year and month to month. As the fans sort of focus on a particular aspect of the game, I think, they love the experience. They love the type of game that we had developed, the sort of the presentation of the game, and the fact that every battle feels like a real narrative that unfolds. Every time you play the game, there's a story that's being written in your gameplay actions. I think those are the kinds of things they loved, and the kinds of things that we loved, and that's what we knew we needed to keep. And the things that the fans would like more of. Cheating was an issue in the game, and piracy was an issue, and these are things that that all publishers and developers, I think, are dealing with, and these are things that we want to make sure we're providing sort of recourse to the fans, that we're giving them an experience that's competitive and fair and enjoyable, and also allows them to share their experience with their friends.